Welcome back to the Pokemon Black No Experience run. Last time, we defeated Game Freak Morimoto, and this time, well, we've put it off as long as we can. It's time for possibly the single hardest challenge of this entire run. Well, actually, maybe after Caitlin and Clay and whatever. Of the post-game, at least. But, if we go back to Undella Town, we'll find that, since it is now summer, or at least summer when I recorded this, the music is much more lively and the town is far more populated, including, this guy who, just goes, "The sea!" I really have no idea why he's doing that. And this guy. So in summer, very weird NPCs come here. Yes, using Cynthia as an adjective. Well, admittedly, Cynthia should be used as an adjective that means incredible pain, but... Anyway. So this person is going to tell us about sunlight, but I don't think there's actually strong sunlight in this area in summer. I'm not sure if you're going to Undella Bay. I'm not sure if the battles take place in strong sunlight, but hey, there's a maid here. Yeah, it also gets rid of your flying type if you were flying type, but still. Once again, very weird NPCs flock here in summer, yeah, but what's more useful is what's inside these houses. Well, not this one. This house is the epitome of not useful. Actually, except this guy. This guy is actually probably the one useful thing this town has when it's summer. So apparently, this guy has, started turning into a Snorlax, but apparently he could exercise if he had a Cinccino. Why he can't exercise without a Cinccino is beyond me, but apparently, though, he's willing to trade a Munchlax for a Cinccino. Now, this trade will only take place in summer. Ugh! Get away from me, you sick old man. Anyway, though, let's just tell people to stay away from that house. And some more people. Hoenn is a nice place. For example, did you know a trainer named Steven? Apparently, he might be related to Mega Evolution in the remake. Spoilers! Well, spoilers because... yeah, apparently he's into stones, including Mega Stones. Despite the fact that rich boys and ladies don't look anything like that in Hoenn, but actually they might in the remake. This house, though, you still don't want to go in until you're completely and utterly ready. Because now it's time for, yeah, no more playing around with the very, very bizarre NPCs of Summer Undella Town. Firstly, we've got to get a few TMs in order. We definitely want to get rid of Heatwave for Flamethrower, because we cannot afford to miss in this fight. You really, really want to do this. Now, also, another good TM to teach here would be Substitute. I'm not sure if I've already done that or not. Putting Volcarona at the head of the party, and... the music is off-sync in this next part. It's because this bit has actually been recorded much later. The reason being... I actually, well, I'll just give you a little preview right now. I actually fought Cynthia 3 times. I thought Cynthia was such an interesting fight that I wanted to really showcase what she could do, and all the different ways there are of beating her. So I decided to record one way, and this is the one you'll be seeing first, even though I recorded it last, what I like to call the legit way. No cheap tactics, no sweeping everything with stat boosts, no nothing, just my team against hers. I was tossing up whether to give the leftovers to Bones or to Bronzong, but the thing is, Bronzong's job here really is to just set up Trick Room, Dual Screens, and then die as fast as possible, so leftovers is probably not going to be a good item choice. I realized here that there just really isn't that many good items I could actually give my Pokemon. Like, most of the good items that I could use, I could really use a Light Clay on Bronzong, but I believe you need Battle Subway to get that. Yeah, Ring Target, that's gonna help. See, there just aren't that many good items I can use. Anyway, it's finally time to step inside this house. And be greeted with the ridiculous, ominous, and awesome music. Well, maybe it's just because player characters. And yes, my name is Pirate, permanently due to having used a pirated version. Yes, this is indeed Cynthia, the champion of the Sinnoh region. She has made a surprise appearance as an optional boss fight in this game, and she's been researching myths. Been there, done that, sorry, I've already pretty much cleaned the place out, but I've left some treasures in there for you to find. This friend is actually, in fact, Caitlin. Yeah, figures that two ridiculously annoying opponents would actually be friends. But anyway, you can turn this down, and if you're not, well, really prepared, you should. So thankfully, you're not completely forced into this if you accidentally enter this house early. But anyway, oh, my Pokeballs are certainly not radiating with a happy feeling for this. Here we go! And so we hear the awesome music that's actually been remixed a bit for this game. And she leads with Spiritomb, and I lead with my Volcarona. Now, there is this kind of interesting thing you can do with this Spiritomb and a Volcarona. I'm going to show that off later. In this legit one, I'm going to just go for KOing it normally. Now, with the Silver Powder, I believe Bug Buzz is slightly stronger than Stab Flamethrower, or Stab Bug Buzz, and I got insanely lucky there. Unfortunately, it actually is not going to help. The critical hit didn't one-hit KO, it probably could have, I just got a really unlucky damage roll, and the special defense drop is not going to help. I'm still 2-hit KOing. So as you can see, this Spiritomb loves to spam Double Team. It also has pressure, so your offensive moves will lose double PP every time you attack it. Thankfully, I got lucky and hit through Double Team there, and that's the main reason that I wanted to take this thing out as fast as possible. Believe me, you'll be seeing more of what Spiritomb can do later. But after that, she goes immediately to her Team Ace, and this is bad, because Garchomp has Stone Edge, and that is certainly going to take out Volcarona, and I want to save him for later. Or her, I forgot its gender. So, Stone Edge and Bronzong should be able to tank that fairly well. Now I'm going to go ahead and set up the Trick Room, just so that the rest of my team can get the drop on her Pokemon, because most of my team are slower than hers, due to the massive level advantage she has. Now with Trick Room up, in the few turns I have before Bronzong faints, I'm going to go set up Reflect and Light. Why did you go for Dragon Rush? That's really strange. Yeah, Garchomp's stab move is Dragon Rush, thankfully, not Dragon Claw or Outrage, so it can miss if you're, lucky. But, well, I usually never am. Trust me, I was actually lucky to have that fight go that way. Usually, I don't get the Trick Room up because Garchomp criticals me with Crunch first go. Believe me, you'll see that, eventually. With Trick Room up, Kyurem can get hit first and Ice Beam this Garchomp into oblivion, thankfully. Now, if Trick Room is not up, as you'll be seeing a bit later, Kyurem can tank one hit from that Garchomp, so thankfully it's not really that bad. Now, while my Trick Room is still up, I'm going to go ahead and Focus Blast this Lucario. Again, not the end of the world if I had missed here, because Kyurem can tank one fighting move from Lucario, and in fact I kind of had to in one of my earlier runs, but 3 down. Trick Room has worn off, which thankfully is a good thing, because Electros is actually slower than Kyurem. So, yep, wore off at a perfect time. Now, this Electros, no weaknesses and a surprisingly varied move pool with wide coverage. Watch out here. Fortunately though, with the Reflect up, its Dragon Claw didn't really do that much damage, and Ice Beam will finish it off. That is 4 down. And Light Screen is gone, just an inopportune time though, because Melodic has come out. Now this Melodic is more of a tank than anything. Now, I'm going to go switch out to Whirlwind because I am predicting a Blizzard. I am very much expecting Whirlwind to take a Blizzard and faint here. Dragon Tail, that's the one I didn't want. Now, something I realized in one of my earlier runs, Whirlwind was pretty much death fodder in this battle. Pretty much totally useless, sadly. She'll get her time to shine in the Elite Four, but not now. And that was not what I wanted. What I wanted was for... I'm sorry, Whirlwind, but I am using you as death fodder. What I wanted is Blizz... And it missed. Well, okay. I kind of wanted Blizzard to hit there. And nope, didn't even get one Dragon Claw in. Bye-bye, Whirlwind. Sorry, Blizzard. The reason why I wanted to sacrifice something was because I wanted to get a safe switch in with my... I was about to call this thing its Japanese name for a second there. Don't know why I did that. My Mandibuzz here. Oh, wow, thankfully. Didn't realize it was even faster and probably would have still blizzarded me. Now, if I had switched into a blizzard, that would have been very bad. I'm guessing I can tank one blizzard, but anyway. I'm expecting another blizzard, so I'm going to go switch out to Metagross here. I basically just wanted to get in and get a Toxic in, so I couldn't switch it on a blizzard because that would mean that it would blizzard me again next turn from being faster. Now, I need to be critical hit, really. Thankfully, that didn't really matter that much. Now, I need to be very, very careful when I'm dead. Yeah, I'm dead. See, even Melodic, which is not entirely known for its speed, is outspeeding just about everything I have. Again, I need to be very careful here that I don't put Melodic into full restore range, because I'm pretty sure Cynthia has another full restore, and if I aren't careful here, so for example, if I went straight for Dragon Pulse here, the toxic damage would probably do enough to put it into full restore range, and that would render me using Toxic completely pointless. But as it stands, I'm going to go ahead and go for a weak Glaciate here. I'll be able to outspeed this thing next turn thanks to Glaciate as well, which is good. Man, for all the, you know, all that crap I said about Glaciate when I first had it, Glaciate has been immensely useful in this challenge. Like, lowering speed is so useful when everything is outspeeding you. So, Melodic is down. That was kind of lucky, actually. I didn't expect Dragon Pulse to finish it off. Well, the last time we were driven into a corner like this was probably back when I was playing Platinum, which was a very long time ago, but anyway. So, Braviary. Now, I am kind of using Bones as a sacrifice here, because I need to heal Kyurem. This thing, don't underestimate it. It is brutally powerful. It might not be the fastest normal flying out there, but it more than makes up for it in sheer power, and in fact, yeah, Brave Birds off of this thing hurt a lot. And in fact, yeah, despite the fact that it's not all that fast, it's still going to be faster than just about everything I have. So, Kyurem's going to come in right here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use Ice Beam, which will definitely finish this thing off, if I can take one hit from Brave Bird. Now, you're about to see just how powerful Brave Bird is off of this thing. If this got a critical hit, I'd be done right here. So, against Cynthia, you can never be too careful, and never assume that you've won. But in this case, I have. And I'm really annoyed that she just uses the standard victory theme rather than her actual victory theme from her games. I mean, you know, they gave her a battle theme. They should have at least given her her victory theme. I still love Cynthia's victory theme. It's probably one of my favorite champion victory themes in the series. I just love the fact that they actually, you know, made it a sort of a triumphant reprise of her battle theme. Speaking of which, Cynthia's battle theme is pretty amazing, but I'll talk about that later. Now, this line here is actually quite interesting. This line, in case you weren't already familiar, basically confirms that Platinum was the canon storyline for the Sinnoh games. Usually the third version is canon. Now, as Cynthia says here, she's here in the spring and the summer. Now, from now on, you can rematch her at any time you want in the spring only. Your first battle with her can be at any time, so any season, but after your first battle, you can only rematch her in spring. In summer, she'll be here along with various other NPCs, and they'll talk about a few interesting things, but she can only be rematched in the spring. Now, I'm going to enjoy all this time I have in Cynthia's house while she's still here, because when I leave, yeah, just running around, yay, I'm here, Cynthia's here. I'm going to enjoy this moment while it lasts, because once I leave, I spent the entire month battling her. Actually, yeah, due to uni exams, I couldn't, yeah, record for a whole month. And it's now autumn, and she's gone. Yeah. So, when she said she's only here in the spring and summer, she really meant it. She's gone. Instantly. So, it'll be until spring or summer that we see her again. Though, I'm not gonna want to put myself through that again, trust me. Yeah, if you're doing a normal run of this game, she can be a fairly decent source of experience, especially for higher level Pokemon. Just be sure that you really know what you're doing. And so, Cynthia is defeated, and this part is over. Well, you'll know it isn't if you've seen the length of this video. Yes, because Cynthia is one of the most amazing fights in this whole game, I thought that I'd actually do something a bit special with it. I recorded, as I said before, 3 different battles with Cynthia. What you just saw there was the 3rd battle, the one I decided would be the one that actually counted, the legit way. No cheap tricks, no sweeping her team with stat boosting moves, nothing like that. Now, I wanted to do that because I wanted to give you a feel of just how strong her team is. In fact, you'll really be seeing that in, well, yeah, there is fail channel for this episode, but I'll show you that right at the end. Before then, though, I'm going to show you 2 other ways of taking down Cynthia. First, I didn't want to show this one first because it makes her look like a complete and total wimp, and trust me, that is not what Cynthia is. So, the first one is the one I actually recorded first. I'm going to show this now because, again, I've already shown what her team can do, so I don't need to worry about... Let's just say this battle is very, very one-sided. I felt obliged to show this because this is the way that, well, if you're having trouble with Cynthia and just want to beat her, the thing is, there's really no real reward for beating Cynthia other than just bragging rights, so you probably should just, you know, try to challenge yourself with her. She's really there just for the challenge. So it kind of defeats the purpose to beat her this way, in my opinion. But there is an easier way to beat Cynthia, and I think it's about time that I show it. That Pokemon that we caught in the Relic Castle. You're about to see just how insanely overpowered it can be. And just how much Cynthia's first Pokemon is open to abuse like this. So, cutting straight to the battle this time, amazing music kicks in once again. And I'll walk you through this strategy right at the start, and after that, I might just spend the rest of the time just talking about trivia about Cynthia herself. Well, actually, the battle's going to go over very quickly once I actually get past its first Pokemon, let's just say. So anyway, here's the reason why we taught Substitute to Volcarona. What you want to do here is, you want to start going for Quiver Dance. Now this Spiritomb has the moveset of Double Team, Will-O-Wisp, Shadow Ball, and Sucker Punch. Because of its moveset, this Spiritomb leaves itself very open to setup. Sucker Punch can't hurt you if you're using non-attacking moves, like Quiver Dance. Shadow Ball will barely do anything due to the boost that Quiver Dance is providing me. And Will-O-Wisp, well, Volcarona happens to be a fire type and is so unaffected by Will-O-Wisp, so Volcarona is the perfect Pokemon to abuse this with. Now, Spiritomb's AI will also prioritize spamming Double Team as much as possible until it gets to +6. Occasionally, I've had it deviate from that and actually use attacking moves early, so watch out for that. But for the most part, it will just spam Double Team. And you know what? Opponents who spam Double Team do not deserve any mercy. I'm going to go ahead and get right up to +6 with Volcarona. Now, I'm probably going to miss a lot until I actually finally hit Spiritomb, but once I do hit it, the rest of the battle is pretty much over. The one thing you do have to watch out for, though, is Sucker Punch, and that's why you need to make sure that you have a substitute set up before you start attacking. There is another reason why you want a substitute, and that's for later, but for the time being, you'll want to use the substitute because, well, Spiritomb cannot do anything to you to prevent you from setting up the substitute. If it goes for Sucker Punch, it will fail. If it goes for Shadow Ball, well, Shadow Ball will probably take a million years to break my substitute at this point. Unless it gets a critical hit, but again, that's what the substitute is for. Now I'll just have to wait until I hit. The annoying thing is that Spiritomb has pressure, so all your moves directly targeted at it. Thankfully, pressure does not affect stat boosting moves, and wow, I got insanely lucky there. Yeah, that was quick. Didn't expect it to be that quick, but anyway. Pressure only affects your attacking moves, basically, but it does mean you consume 2 PP every time you use one, so if you're unlucky with Double Team, it can get very annoying, and you may have to use Ethers. But anyway, now that I've actually got +6 to both special attack and speed, the rest of this battle is going to be a complete and utter curve stomp, except for one particular case. So basically, just use Bug Buzz on everything that resists fire, Flamethrower, and everything else, and that's basically it. This battle is pretty much completely won by this point. So yeah, you can see why I didn't show this as my first attempt, even though this actually was my first attempt recording-wise. Goodbye Melodic, Braviary should very quickly go down to Flamethrower. Yeah, you know, nothing to see here. Pretty much just your standard stuff. I guess I can take this time to mention that I really do love Cynthia's theme. It's surprisingly ominous for a character so friendly, but it really gives you a sense of just how powerful she is. Cynthia is often considered the hardest champion in the entire series. I mean, that's not saying much, because Pokemon is a pretty easy series, unless you're doing a challenge like I am. But, she is probably the hardest of the champions. Her team is surprisingly balanced, and I need to cut my talk to say one thing. The other reason that you want a substitute setup is this. Lucario has extreme speed. If it goes for that and you don't have a substitute setup, there is a possibility that you might go down, because Spiritomb Sucker Punches, to put things in perspective, actually break your subs instantly. So if they do that, I shudder to think how much Lucario Extreme Speed will do. That might run the risk of actually KOing you. So, once again, Cynthia goes down. As you can see, that strategy is very easy to abuse, and it doesn't even require you to train the Volcarona you got from Relic Castle. As you can see there, level 70 is perfectly fine for it. And its starting moveset, well, Quiver Dance is all you really need. Again, you want to replace want to teach Flamethrower and replace Heat Wave. Because if you miss with Heat Wave, that might run the risk of totally ending you. So, yeah, you don't want to do that. And again, you will want Substitute, because otherwise Sucker Punch from Spiritomb will hurt you, and Lucario's Extreme Speed will hurt you even more. But anyway, now that we've shown that Cynthia is very easy to abuse stat boosting moves on, well, specifically her Spiritomb, I thought of something a little, well, amusing I could try. I'm pretty sure that no one's ever beaten Cynthia like this, and, well, this is gonna totally humiliate her. Sorry, Cynthia, but, well, you'll see for yourself what I'm about to do. Once again, yes, I will be your opponent, and I feel so sorry for you, for what I'm about to do. Again, Cynthia, I apologize in advance, because this is going to be humiliating. No, it's not a Magikarp, by the way. But I actually don't think a Magikarp could do this, but anyway. Yep, it's Beaver time! Okay, yeah, I thought I'd take advantage of Bibarel's simple ability to use massive stat boost to sweep Cynthia's team. This turned out to be a lot harder than I expected, because unlike Volcarona, here you are going to be going last because of Curse, which will lower your speed massively. Because of that, you need to be able to take hits. For that, Substitute is essential. Substitute is also essential against Spiritomb for one other reason. Spiritomb has one slight advantage over Volcarona in that it is immune to Shadow Ball, so you don't need to worry about Spiritomb hurting you outside of Sucker Punch. What it is not immune to, however, is Will-O-Wisp. Now, if Bibarel gets Will-O-Wisped, you're basically screwed. And that's why you want the Substitute, which will block the Will-O-Wisp. So, set up the Substitute at first opportunity here. Then, just go crazy with stat boosting moves. Now, the thing is, really, all Simple does is lessen my setup time. And the thing is, Spiritomb is probably going to get to +6 double teams anyway. Honestly, I actually should have gone for Unaware here, because that would allow me to ignore Spiritomb's double teams. I know that one particular blind run on YouTube, well not blind run, I don't know if it was a blind run or not, but I know that someone on YouTube accidentally discovered Unaware Bibarel's effectiveness against Spiritomb. Yeah, they completely did not realise that Unaware worked like that, but it was kind of funny. But so, yeah, I really should have gone with Unaware here, because that would allow me to ignore the double teams. But, the more you know. Anyway, 2 Amnesias is enough to get me straight to +6 special defense. Now, these Amnesias are necessary, because you're going to be taking hits from special moves later in this fight, and you will need the Amnesias to survive. As you'll be seeing later, even with the curses, Bibarel actually does not take physical hits all that well. So this is actually quite a tough fight. Now, again, I only have room for one attacking move, which is actually quite annoying, and I might have to use Ethers here, because this is going to run me out of PP a lot, and for one annoying reason. Yep, even at +6, level 59 B-Barrel cannot one-shot this Spiritomb. So we need to get lucky and hit with 2 of them, actually 3, given 1 healing item. I'm almost certainly going to have to use an Ether here, but I consider that completely fine. After all, I am trying to sweep with a B-Barrel here. I'm going to need all the help I can get. Now, hopefully this will not take out my substitute, and I have to use an Ether here. So, yeah, Waterfall is the only stab move that I can use on this B-Barrel, because, well, normal moves would... If my only attacking move was normal, I would not be able to get past this Spiritomb at all. This is going to leave me very, very annoyed against Melodic, but hopefully Melodic does not come out until last. Waterfall is actually pretty effective against most of her team. Melodic is the only thing she has that resists it, so... Oh, once again, this is going to be incredibly irritating. But, yeah, I need to hit with 2 of these, and I'm getting much more unlucky with the double teams this time around. Yeah, figures that I'd use up all my luck on the run where I actually did not need luck, but anyway. Well, I just hit with 2 consecutively, that's pretty nice. And now, unlike with the Volcarona sweep, we're not completely out of the woods yet. This Lucario will definitely break our subs in instantly with close combat. But hopefully, the combination of close combat lowering its defenses and the +6 attack that I have should enable me to 1-hit KO with Waterfall. If I don't, I am essentially dead because I'm pretty sure that close combat from a level 75 Lucario will one-shot me even with +6 defense. So bye-bye Lucario, thank you. Electros. This is actually a problem. Watch how much its Wild Charge does to me even at +6 defense. Well, I was surprised, and you probably will be too. See, look at that. That is with +6. Thank Arceus I still had enough HP left to make a substitute. This is actually very, very bad, because, well, it's going to Wild Charge me again. And, okay, this is going to be tricky. I'm going to have to strategically use healing items here. Now, again, in this kind of run, because you are going to be taking hits from things... Oh, wow, really? Well, okay, here's the strategy. I will heal, and once I heal back to full health, this Electros will knock itself out with Wild Charge. If it gets a critical hit, though, I'm screwed. Now, yes, in this run, any critical hits will basically end you, so this is very, very luck-reliant, I will admit. But thankfully, no critical hit, and Electros goes down, and I'm probably going to have to heal again. Leftovers is also extremely useful here. Braviary. Now, I was actually terrified this thing had something like Superpower. I don't think it does. If it did, that would be extremely bad, but you're about to see just how powerful Braviary is, if you didn't realize already. Brave Bird, even at +6, is gonna do a lot. Yep, more than half. Now, hopefully my leftovers could put me... Okay, my leftovers puts me just over half HP, which means that I will be able to survive another Brave Bird, provided a critical hit. So the leftovers is actually necessary here. Ooh, that was close. Without leftovers, yeah, I would have actually been screwed here, so good thing I put the leftovers on. Now, I don't think... Yeah, I had a feeling that wouldn't KO. And so I'm going to have to heal again. This fight made me very, very nervous, because one critical hit would instantly end me. But hopefully this thing does enough with Brave Bird so that it knocks itself out. I'm kind of glad it's not going for Crush Claw, because that defense lowering could really screw me over. Oh wow, actually, I think I got lucky with a damage roll last... Oh, actually, no, I probably would survive. Just barely survive 2 hits with the leftovers. I'm actually going to Hyper Potion again, just to be safe. Barely surviving 2 hits with the leftovers, which means that a critical hit would probably still take me down. And next up should be something kind of interesting. Garchomp. Oh boy. Thankfully, this thing is part ground, and so will take neutral damage from Waterfall. If it didn't, I'd be basically totally screwed here, but I don't think I have time for another substitute. This thing is most likely going to hit me into below substitute range. It just did. So hopefully Waterfall does a lot. You've really got to know when you can... Oh, really? Just under half. That is not a good sign. As you can see here, yeah, trying to sweep with a B-Barrel is actually quite difficult. Oh, Stone Edge, that's very, 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 very bad, because if that crits, I'm... Okay, fortunately, yeah, it's only doing that much, but if it crits, it will ignore my defenses, and actually that Braviary would have killed me with a crit anyway, because it would ignore my defenses. But, yeah, ignoring defenses is bad. Oh, sweet Arceus, please don't put this thing in high promotion in full restore range. Critical hit! Thank you! Okay, I probably still would have been able to do this if I hadn't got a critical hit, but it just would have taken longer, and there would have been more risk of Garchomp criticalling me and ending my run. So, down to the last Pokemon, and here you want to do something important. You need to substitute now. Don't worry about your lowered speed, you will always go first if it goes for Dragon Tail, due to Dragon Tail being at -1 priority. The reason you need this substitute up on this Melodic is that if Dragon Tail hits you, it will switch you out, and that will erase all of your boosts. Yeah. Also, without the amnesias, okay, I lose my substitute even with maximum amnesias. That is insane. But you want to put the substitute up as soon as you can. This thing's AI seems to be pretty smart and will always seem to use Dragon Tail on you when your substitute is gone. Because, yeah, when the substitute is down, and if you get hit by Dragon Tail, your sweep is over, because you'll lose all of your boosts. Now, I'm going to have to very slowly chip away at this Melodic. I'm actually doing surprisingly a lot of damage, though, for a not very effective move. The good news is, Dragon Tail, I'm pretty sure, breaks your substitutes in no more than 3 hits. Well, I mean, no less than 3 hits, so if it derps and goes for Dragon Tail while you still have a I am 3-hit KOing Melodic? That's actually quite surprising. So yeah, okay, about 3 hits is enough to take out the substitute, and with that, you need to immediately set it back up again. No, I haven't won yet, because a critical hit could really screw me over. I need to sub again, and then I need to ether again. Okay. Healing a little bit, and one more ether, then I can hit it one more time and hopefully take it out. And hopefully my B-Barrel sweep will be successful. Dragon Tail, that's good. And come on, I need to survive. Well, I will survive one more hit because I've got the sub up. If this KOs, I've done it. And I'm going first because of Dragon Tail's negative priority. Please faint. Oh, but flinch. And that doesn't really matter because the flinch wouldn't really matter. Does she have another full restore? No, she doesn't. I've won. Cynthia has been completely beaten with a B-Barrel. Mission accomplished. And that's enough, Cynthia, for one session. Yeah, my heart was pounding too after that. One critical hit would have screwed me over. I admit that is very luck-reliant, but it is doable. But that black screen can only mean one thing. Before I get onto this, though, I'd like to explain a few things. These failures were all from the legit fight, as in no stat boosting. The Volcarona sweep, well, there's pretty much no way that can go wrong if you know what you're doing, so I had no failures there. As for the B-Barrel one, I technically didn't have any failures there either, but I have a bit of a confession to make. Now, you actually can't really tell because the transition was pretty seamless, and I could just not say this and nobody would ever know, but it would weigh on my conscience, so I'll just have to get this off my chest. I actually did use a save state during the B-Barrel sweep. Now, it wasn't because of, oh, I'll save state here so that if I lose, I'll just reload here. That wasn't it. I specifically said to myself, if I lose, I will start the fight from the beginning like I'm supposed to. The save state was just a precaution in case my emulator crashed, and sure enough, it did once. So I did have to reload off of that. Yeah, it's a problem with Desmume on my system. Whenever I play or record, there's always a chance of it crashing absolutely catastrophically, as in it completely black screens my entire computer. So, if anyone knows how to fix that, it's kind of annoying. But yes, that instantly kills any video footage that I already had recorded. So what I did was I save stated there just so that I could at least save that part of the footage, so I at least had footage in case of a crash. And well, yeah, It's a good thing that I did because, well, yeah, it did crash, and so I would have lost everything if I hadn't done that. Really, the main thing is I wanted to show that a sweep with B-Barrel was possible, and I think I did show that. I could have just played back up to that point, but it would have relied on a lot of luck on avoiding critical hits. Again, one critical hit totally screws over that strategy, and yeah, it was very luck reliant, so I thought I may as well just reload from there and just continue on after that crash. I'm sorry for that, but again, I just wanted to show that a B-Barrel sweep is theoretically possible. But anyway, on to my actual outtakes. Now, you want to know the really weird thing? I was this close to having 0 failures against Cynthia entirely. But first, I'm going to show my second failure, because that one at least entered very, very, very soon into the fight. So, without further ado, it's time for the Fail Channel! So, like I said, this was in fact my second failed attempt against Cynthia, but again, I wanted to show it first because it was mercifully quick. You'll see, trust me. So it was here that I actually realised for the first time that originally I was planning to just Quiver Dance, sweep the Spiritomb, and then switch afterwards. It was here that I first realised I didn't need to, as Bug Buzz actually 2-hit KOs, so would Flamethrower probably, and saves a lot of hassle on the double teams and on just getting this part of the fight over quickly. It also means that I do the fight with no Quiver Dancing, which is good. So, Spiritomb goes down pretty much painlessly, and out comes Garchomp. Now remember when I was saying that things usually don't go as smoothly as they did in the actual run? You're about to see why. So I switch out to Bronzong, hoping to get off my dual screens and Trick Room. Garchomp goes in for Stone Edge. That's fine. That happened, you know, the same way the normal run. Let's go ahead and go for Trick Room. So, gonna go set up the Trick Room. I get crunched. And critical hit. Yeah. But that's not why I restarted this run. I go to Kyurem. This isn't the end of the world. Kyurem can take one Dragon Rush and then Ice Beam back in return. It's a bit of an uphill battle later on, but it's actually doable. Unless that happens. 2 critical hits in a row, and I basically said, screw it, I'm restarting the fight. There was absolutely no way I was coming back from that one. Now, 1 critical hit on Bronzong I can come back for, and that's what you're about to see next. This next part that you're about to see, this was my first failed recording of Cynthia, and oh boy, is it possibly my single most insane epic fail ever. And I don't mean epic fail as in really bad. I mean, well, you're gonna see. This fight was just epic, and I really wish that this had been the run that counted, and it very nearly would have if I hadn't screwed up at the very end. So, enjoy. This is actually a pretty good fight to watch. So, here we go for the final time hearing this awesome theme. Now, I will just give you a heads up. This time, I did Quiver Dance the Spiritomb to death, just because I felt that it's a cheap double team spammer and it deserves it, and it's not like the fight loses anything, provided that you switch Volcarona around immediately afterwards. Thankfully, I realised that you didn't actually need to do this in the successful run, so yeah, this time I decided to, although it was in this run that I believe I realised that Sucker Punch does get rid of your substitutes instantly, as in one hit, so that's kind of annoying. But anyway, now while this is going, I guess this gives me time to talk about a bit about Cynthia herself, because I didn't really get a chance to. Other than the fact that she is the champion of the Sinnoh region, and by far one of the most popular champions in the series, and it's not hard to see why. She is a pretty awesome character, and she's easily, yeah, like I said before, definitely the hardest standard champion fight in the series. She is the first champion since Blue to actually have no one big crippling type specialty. And in fact, if you put her teams into a team builder, she actually has very few shared weaknesses between all of her party members. It's actually quite surprising. Unlike Diantha, who has massive type variety, but huge shared weaknesses, which is probably a main factor in Diantha being possibly one of the most unpopular champions in the series. That and being not very relevant to the story, but anyway. I could make a whole video about comparisons, but anyway. The thing is, Cynthia is definitely the Pokemon series' definitive breakout character, as TV tropes would say. Something that if you look really carefully, you'll realise that's actually pretty interesting. Cynthia had a perfect attendance record since her debut until X and Y. Yep, from the game she first appeared in, Diamond and Pearl, she appeared in every single game in the series until X and Y. And in fact, given that there's still chance for DLC of X and Y, it's possible she could even appear there too. So that's pretty amazing. No one character has ever really done that. I think only really Professor Oak comes close to as many appearances in the full series. But again, Cynthia, she appeared in Diamond and Pearl as the champion, Platinum as the champion too, and in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, she appeared in the Arceus events. In Black and White, she's an optional post-game boss, and she returns to that role in Black and White too, and she's also in the PWT, which is pretty cool. So yeah, Cynthia definitely took off in terms of popularity. In fact, she played a major role in the anime's Black and White arc, which was far beyond the Diamond and Pearl series. And yeah, she actually played a major storyline role there, which was interesting. Now you'll see here that once again, Garchomp criticals with a crunch. What is it with this Garchomp and critting me? But you're about to see why it's actually not the end of the world if it gets, well, only one critical. As long as it doesn't crit Kyurem. And here I was actually wondering, because this is my very first attempt at fighting her without sweeping her with stab boosts, I wasn't really sure who to switch into. So you'll see a bit of hesitation on my part here, but I'm pretty sure that I can 1-hit KO this Garchomp with Ice Beam. Part of me was wondering, I don't know what I was trying to think of doing there. I was kind of thinking of maybe going for Glaciate. I think Ice Beam can one-shot. If it one-shots a Simisage, it will definitely one-shot Garchomp. Wow! As you can see there, it cuts it very close, but Kyurem can take one Dragon Rush, provided it's not a critical hit. But this means the rest of the fight's going to be kind of uphill. Lucario comes out, and I know that he's going to go for extreme speed. When you're on critical health, the AI loves to prioritize extreme speed, so I decided to take advantage of this to switch out. I could have gone into Metagross. In fact, that probably would have been better. I was just kind of worried about Aura Sphere or something, but as I thought, he goes for extreme speed. And it doesn't do very much damage to me at all. Now, he is most likely going to go for something like, I'm going to have to use this opportunity to heal Kyurem, because with a max potion as well, not a full restore, max potion. No need to use full restore unless you're statused, but max potion, because, yeah, I'm going to need Kyurem for the rest of the fight. Okay, going for Aura Sphere. So, for this next few modes, I can basically say that, yeah, Cynthia appeared in a whole lot of games, and because she appeared in 3 different games as a battleable opponent on the same system, as in DS, now he's going to go for extreme speed again, so I'm going to go switch out to delete here and take a not very effective extreme speed. My plan here is to agility up and then earthquake to hopefully take out this Lucario. But anyway, as, you know, appearing as a battleable opponent in both Diamond and Pearl, Black and White, and Black and White 2, all 3 on the same system, the DS, she has the interesting honour of having her theme remixed 3 separate, as in, there are 3 separate versions of her theme, all on the same hardware, which is interesting. I don't know why they felt the need to remix her theme again in Black and White 2. Because, yeah, her theme in this game is actually slightly, oh, of course I can't 1-hit KO, is of course slightly remixed from Diamond and Pearl, and I do like this version quite a lot. Black and White 2, when fighting her in the PWT, they actually remixed her theme again, surprisingly. You'd think they'd just reuse the Black and White one, but no, they actually gave her a completely new remix of it that has a bit of added sort of percussion in a way earlier on, and once again, okay, here I realise Whirlwind is pretty much death fodder. I'm about to realise that now. Yep, Dragon Pulse, so Cotton Guard wouldn't have saved me. This Lucario is mixed, so no matter how high your defenses are, unless you've got good defenses in both stats, this thing is going to hurt you quite badly. And I'm actually a little... this could be a problem. Because, yeah... I'm gonna have to bank on taking an Aura Sphere. Okay, now here, I probably should have gone for, like, Glaciate or something. Well, I was thinking, yeah, maybe Glaciate just in case. For some reason, they're going for Dragon Pulse. They probably should have gone for Aura Sphere or Close Combat because they would have been super effective. And especially seeing as a not super effective Dragon Pulse actually did half my health, actually a little more than half. I believe that a Close Combat or... Oh, really? Wow. Okay, I'm going to go for Focus Blast here because I'm going to be faster and... Even if Cynthia resorts to a full restore, this will probably one-shot unless I miss, but I didn't miss. I'm having surprising luck with Focus Blast lately, which is not like me. But anyway, I'm pretty sure Close Combat or Aura Sphere would have one-shotted me, so I'm... Again, yeah, this was kind of luck-based in a way, but now Electros comes out. Now I'm thinking, Electros can't possibly do anything to hurt me, so this is basically a free heal, right? Yeah, at the time I didn't completely know this Electros' moveset. I thought that it would just go for electric moves. But no, it's going for Dragon Claw. Electros is just one of those Pokemon that has such a massively varied move pool. Okay, just barely above half. Now this time, yeah, you'll see, you can tell this was my first time because I didn't know that Electros was actually slower than me, and I thought that I'd have to use Glaciate to be faster. Actually no need, so I probably should have gone straight for the, Ice Beam. Hopefully I can take this. See, this fight cuts it pretty close if you don't get the Trick Room up, and now I know that I'll be able to probably... I'm banking on taking this thing out with this Ice Beam. If I don't, I'm in trouble. And I'm in trouble. And hopefully this thing finishes itself off. And... Okay, how did that happen? Seriously, how did that thing not die? It's probably got 1 HP left, like, there's really no other explanation. How did that thing not kill itself with the recoil? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, anyway, that's gotta be 1 HP. Seriously. Oh, anyway. Now, Volcarona has to take out the rest of the fight on its own, which is bad, considering that she's probably gonna go to Melodic. And I reckon one Hydro Pump is going to take me out, and I'm not allowed to use any Quiver Dances at this point because of my rules. And speaking of my rules, I actually decided to break them here. I thought, it's probably acceptable to do this against Cynthia, I'm breaking my No Revive rule. Thankfully, the run that actually counted, I didn't need to use any revives, which means my No Revive rule technically still remains unbroken. But here... If this run had succeeded, I probably would have just said, come on, this is Cynthia, she has level 75 to 77s, my Pokemon can't gain experience, cut me some slack here, I think it's probably fine to break my no reviving rule here. So, it's Kyurem versus the world, or at least Cynthia's last 2 Pokemon. Dragon Pulse, into you, and... does about as much as that B-Barrel Waterfall did, actually. Another Dragon Pulse, this is pretty much 3-hit KOing, so I'm probably... you know what? I might not knock it out with another Dragon Pulse, and I think I realized that. So I'm going to go for Glaciate just to be able to outspeed it, just in case she heals. Because, yeah, I realized right here that another Dragon Pulse might not have KO'd, and I'm pretty sure that I was right. Oh hey, not even in the red. Although I have seen Cynthia heal from yellow quite a few times. You'll even have seen it in this episode. Gonna go for another Max Potion. Again, there is absolutely no shame item spamming against Cynthia. And this was something I did not see coming. That Bulldoze erases my Glaciate effectively. And it's going to spell my doom. There's really no need for me to spoil, you know, to think of that as a spoiler, because this is on the Fail channel, you know this is going to end badly. The question is, how badly? Well, you're about to see. At this point, I thought that I could go Glaciate to, knock this thing down to some low HP, and to lower its speed. After all, if I can outspeed a Zep Striker after a Glaciate, I should surely be able to outspeed a Braviary after one. Oh! Really? And guess what? Okay, at this point I was freaking out that it was still faster. How could that be possible? Well, Bulldoze. Yep! That one sneaky move that Milotic got off just before fainting, that cost me the battle, that attempt. Yeah, with the Bulldoze, one speed drop on the Braviary, and it's still faster than me. Yep, I think I just lost to Cynthia by 1 HP. Or at least very close. Now, I was desperately hoping that the Braviary would go for Brave Bird, so that it would at least make it a tie, but it didn't. I think at a time like this, there's really only one thing that this calls for. Yeah, that was pretty much an exact replica of my reaction when this actually happened. The thing is, I actually wasn't as frustrated as you probably think, because Cynthia's actually still a pretty fun fight, and I was kind of glad to do it again. Oh boy, though, losing by that much. Seriously, against Cynthia of all people, losing by that much. I was this close to having 0 failures against the hardest opponent in the entire game. Oh. Really? Really? The thing is, though, remember how I said that I very nearly did have 0 failures? If Glaciate did enough to knock Braviary down to that little HP, Ice Beam would have KO'd. If I had gone for Ice Beam instead, that would have been a win, and I would have had no losses against Cynthia. But at least this way, I'm not breaking the no revive rule, seeing as in my actual run that counted it did. But yeah, that was a pretty epic fight, I will say. I really did like that fight, even though it ended badly. And yeah, that's it. This has been an extremely long video, all of one opponent, but I think Cynthia deserves it. Yep, Cynthia is amazing, and definitely one of the greatest challenges in the series, and I've just beaten her without my Pokemon being able to gain experience. So, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Next time, we're going to head on over to the final challenges of the post-game. I'm going to take one detour, though. There's a certain cave that only opens up in the post-game. There isn't much in it, but I hear there's a couple of pretty strong veteran trainers in there. So I'll see you with that next time.